Well, hey, Gundam Maniacs, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. This one, episode 10, which from Mercury, Circling Thoughts. And in fact, just by watching this, I had Circling Thoughts. It gets really weird. We're seeing some character motivations that are coming to light and maybe even changes in what we expected from some characters. And there's some things I'm even confused about. So please, as we go through and you have more insight, leave them in the comments. But before we get started, if you haven't, please subscribe. And if you think this is a cool video, give it a like as well. And then check the links in the description. There's a Patreon, ways to support the channel, Discord, lots of fun stuff going on. We also have our exclusive G-Watch podcast for supporters for this month. Since it's around Christmas, we're going to be watching Endless Waltz, so it'll be fun to see the crew kind of, talk about that. But let's get started. Okay, so this starts off pretty strong, right? There are so many questions I have had about this show as it went, where one episode would completely contradict the rules set up in a previous episode, and usually when it comes to good storytelling, it needs to be consistent without plot holes. And there seem to be some plot holes, but this is actually getting onto that, where we're seeing a lot of the characters from the Bennett group, Cathedral. We're going to learn about some other behind-the-scenes non-high school drama stuff, and they're really diving into it. So in the background, it seems like there is this controversy over the way the Gund format has been used, and they're really like, we need to do something about this. Why is Delling willing to let this Gund format happen? Wasn't he against it? But I guess now they're thinking probably now that he has his daughter's company that's running the Gundam format, maybe that's his chance to kind of get a hold of that technology and use it for himself instead of fighting against it. It's that's just the tip of the iceberg. It starts spiraling into some crazy stuff after that. They're asking all the questions. Why are they letting it duel? Why did he acknowledge their corporation? So many things that I was like questioning, like, is the show even going to speak on that? And even made me think sometimes, is this just kind of, is that not the focus? It's really just about the kids, so they're kind of like just whatever. But no, they're really thinking about all the little bits of the corporations, their motivations, what we saw in the prologue about the Gundam format, and how this is still a controversy. Okay, and another cool thing about this episode is we're seeing a lot of other scenery, some other cool technology and ships from the Witch universe, and obviously this is cool. So here we go. Jeturk House, the dad dude that doesn't like Guel, that wanted to assassinate Delling in the first place, and it looks like he's getting another chance to. So this is where the motivations are very interesting here, because it's like, is Delling a bad guy? And I thought he possibly is, but maybe not. But then this guy, he's now back here after what he's done to his son. He's wanting to attempt another assassination. And what's interesting is how other people from the Bennett group are kind of like, yeah, I guess we'll do that. And so it's like, I don't understand then if that means, does this mean it's for the safety of people? It's like for the greater good? Or is it that multiple parties involved in the Bennett group really do have bad intentions? Really, I'm just talking about the fact that they're agreeing to assassinate someone. Creepy, right? So interesting conversation here, because after everything Shadiq did earlier for Miorine, it really seemed like he had good intentions, but it just didn't work out. And then, seeing him speak to Suletta right now, he seems to be very kind. I guess Miorine and the Ariel are gone for now. I guess Ariel's getting repaired or inspected. Miorine is, I guess, just making the rounds, doing her business stuff as a president of the Gundam Inc. And Suletta's just waiting. She's happy. Can't wait to see them back. And this is setting up a lot of things. Like right now, if you were to take a snapshot of what's going on here, you'd see a lot of, positive stuff moving forward, but then it gets dark. And some cool world building here, because they're really just diving into the technology. It doesn't really have to do with any of the characters right now. But it's where, she's on this device and being able to have the legs walk. This is part of that technology. Again, the kind of the purpose of the Gundam Inc. is for medical reasons, I guess, to help people so that they can survive in space better. And also we see people from Pale Technologies as well. They're all about that kind of same outlook for the company. I don't know why, but I thought that was funny. Suletta, Forgetta. And I guess everyone else found it funny too. And so Suletta actually checks that off her list of things to do. Tell a joke and make people laugh. So kind of unexpected, cute, kind of funny. There's this interesting back and forth here because Suletta is excited for Miorine to come back, and she has these like twin keychains, one to give her, and she's hoping she'll like it. She seems a little naive about her feelings because even her friend here is just when she's like, "Oh, you think Miorine would like it?" She's kind of like, yeah. And, they're spending so much time on this interaction that has to mean something, right? And it kind of does. Okay, really interesting scene. Miorine is talking with her father as a more of a business transactional sort of discussion here. And he seems pretty cool, pretty legit. Doesn't seem like the bad guy we saw before. I wonder if they're trying to do something here to the viewer, because first he's being planned to be assassinated, and then you see how he's working fine with Miorine, as if maybe he warned her. He didn't want to do the Gundam thing. She made a compelling argument to start the company, and so he's going along with it. It's almost like they're making him seem better than before. Maybe he has enough knowledge to know that it is just not a good idea to go with this Gundam technology. It might not have anything to do with him not having the technology, because obviously his daughter running the company, he does have it. So again, there's something deeper going on here. And this is cool because we saw in the last episode when they were doing that awesome like multi-duel, or it was like more like a battle, a bunch of mobile suits, and they were launching from these like stationary ships that would launch the pods out onto the dual battlefield. But here's a shot of a ship, and they're saying, yeah, this is their new ship they have. And so we're actually seeing the ship, and we got that little symbol on it, get the color scheme. I'm really interested in the ship designs throughout Gundam, and I like how this does have a unique look, but it also looks like it has those launch areas, the bridge there as well. So very cool design. And then we meet that lady from before, which I'm still kind of confused. This is the one that was going to help Miorine get to Earth. And now she's back, but they have a little exchange, and it seems like she is interested in the Gundam in some way. We don't really know the true intent, but Miorine is just saying maybe you can be an ally. Okay, we see Grassley and the other high school kids hanging out. And we're seeing more from Sadiq here, where like now they're talking about killing Delling even with the kids, and then they're kind of like agreeing to it, and they're all part of this plan. And so this like makes it jump back into, okay, these people really are bad guys, because it's so easy to think about killing someone, where in contrast we're seeing how Delling is with Miorine, how he's being tough on her but allowing her to go forward with the company. We saw the scene with Miorine and Delling just now where he was, they were talking, in business transaction terms of just regular stuff. So it's really, it's kind of changing how we are viewing these sides, and it continues to get deeper. And so they even bring up duels won't determine the next president. So this is where we're kind of transcending that whole high school duel squabble, and it seems to be getting a little more serious here. If you fail, you'll lose your position within Grassley, because that's the thing. He's doing something that is potentially illegal. I mean, planning to assassinate someone, especially head of the Bennett group. So that would make him look bad if it fails and exposes them. So it's like he's taking a huge risk, which is a very interesting character decision for him, choice. All right, and just a little side note where they're making some more videos, promotional videos, and I guess with Suletta's pull, she's able to film in a certain area. I don't know how big of a deal this is yet, but just some side stuff, really. And so this is when, from the distance, we have Guel's brother and other person from the house kind of viewing that. And they're wondering where Guel is. We've seen some very interesting development with Guel. So, yeah, I wonder what's going on. And here we are. It's very cool. We're seeing just some more kind of a utilitarian, more mechanical-based function stuff going on here. He's wearing a hard hat, holding some sort of tool, doing some maintenance. So Guel has been, relegated to just kind of doing some more like grunt or construction work. It's not that I'm trying to downplay that, but just based on being part of the Jet Turk house, now he's here. So it's really cool to see this character arc. It's like he seemed like a jerk, but there was something behind him, and now he's it's almost like he's self-humbling and he doesn't really care in a way because he's just, this is the next step. It reminds me of just what was going on the whole time. He was set up to kind of be this battling jerk, so he was just going with it, and now he's been, again, relegated to kind of doing construction, maintenance, and he's just going through with it. So it's like he will do whatever is really the responsible choice or what he's expected to do at the time, which could be good for this character because maybe later on in the series we'll see him then make a choice for himself that's best for everyone else, for himself. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, we're getting something new here. We're getting some cool views of Earth. And Earth looks like it's not in the greatest state. There's a lot of overgrown stuff going on. We're seeing someone work in the fields. We're being introduced to some newer characters as well, which is really interesting. And then seeing someone on it looks like a PS Vita, PSP. I really miss that. Sony, you need to come out with another handheld. But they're watching that new Gundam promotional video. Again, very cool to kind of see the design they're coming up with here. Let's see. Analog stick on the right side. 2 buttons, an X and 0 on the left, and looks like 2 D-pads at the bottom. That would be very limited for gaming. I mean, it does have the shoulder buttons, but it kind of looks like one of those handhelds you can buy where people just load emulators on. Again, cool that they ground it in this like we see people on cell phones all the time. Then we meet this guy, another new character. And Shadiq, I guess, is reaching out to talk to him, but he's saying, contacting me without the go-between, where's your usual caution? So, and then he's just saying, this is, again, him taking this huge risk, and he's going all out about it. He's contacting the Earthians to go and attack and kill Delling. And he's even saying the Jet Turk security is going to be light. He's giving them an opening. So this is very interesting because it seems like the fact that Shadiq and this Earthian, they've been in talks previously too, really further complicates whatever this web is between the houses, the companies within the Bennett group, what everyone's motivation is. Could this get even more complicated? Actually, yeah. Oh, and look, it's Nika, is that her name? Oh, I could get that wrong off the top of my head. But it's like she set up that go-between conversation just then, and it looks like she's sad that she did it. But it's almost like, again, these group that are working together, it's like a lot of people agree to kill Delling, but I think there's some people that feel like that's an extreme measure to take. And yeah, these characters are being pulled in between all these random situations. Oh, hey, look, a favorite has returned. Why are these dorks from Earth House in the lounge? That's kind of cool. Just some world building. What is this? The serial number for this machine, like AST876754 or something. But it's cool that Haro is being used in a way to kind of like scan it and everything. So, yeah, just kind of a cool little world building thing with the technology here. Miorine is doing this interview, and Suletta's like, "Wow, she's so amazing." And then, this other character here, and I forgot his name, unfortunately. She suddenly seems way beyond us. And he kind of talks about that, how she's just going to get so big and kind of leave everyone behind. He's kind of saying that. And the thing is, this episode keeps kind of planting that seed. Okay, and so let us talk to that lady from, Pale Technologies. And it looks like she was about to give her some background information that occurred before. But all of a sudden, she gets a phone call and stops it. So that's very interesting that we were going to get some information here, and then it moves on from that. So that's something to look forward to in the next episode, maybe. And actually what it is she got an alarm to go water the tomatoes because she was happy that Miorine put her in charge of watching the tomatoes for her tomato garden while she was gone. And then she's just strolling happily down this path until someone familiar shows up. And honestly, I gotta say, that was a little creepy AF. It's Elan. We haven't seen him in a while. And he's just hiding behind the trees on that path on the way to Miorine's greenhouse. And it's like he has a kind of a different personality that we were seeing before in a way. And he's wanting to ask her on a date. He's even, again, planting the further seeds that maybe Miorine doesn't really care about her all that much. This is really just what needs to happen right now while they're in the school doing the company thing and all that. But when it comes to the actual, yeah, like I think he even worded it like that I guess the bond, the bridegroom thing going on is almost like a way to shield Miorine from being forced to make decisions that she doesn't want to make. But he even moves in to try to kiss her, to ask her on a date after telling her this stuff, and then Suletta, pushes him away. Okay, and then we see those witches speaking with Elan, and this is another one because literally they're saying, "Oh, what made you decide to pick this new person to be the advanced person or whatever?" And she's like, "Because he has a personality like you." So, is it really that they are grabbing people and maybe changing them with DNA to look a certain way, or do they have maybe these bodies that they build, or they're clones and they're putting the personalities in them? They still haven't totally explained that yet, but it's very interesting how, yeah, Elan has this clone of him out there that's taking care of this next step, causing some more issues between Suletta and the Gundam stuff. But really, she's reminding him, really, just get the aerial. You just need to get the Gundam. We want that Gundam. And that's really their motivation there. And then as she's running to the greenhouse, she sees people already in there, and she's freaking out because she's like, oh, she probably doesn't want anyone to mess up the task that Miorine gave her because she can't wait for her to get back. And guess what? Miorine was back. She had been back for some time. Not only did she not let Suletta know that, but she didn't even seem excited to see Suletta when she was back. She was just preoccupied with everything she was doing. Now, that could be just the nature of being involved in something as big as Gundam Inc. because of how hard it was to get going in the first place, and now her dad's willing to work with her on this. But at the same time, all those little seeds planted for Suletta this whole episode is now coming to fruition as she is experiencing how Miorine is treating her. So, let's see. And she's holding something in her hand, and she's like, I thought this was important to you. So Miorine had hired Elan to be a pilot to help test alongside Suletta. So that's pretty interesting because she even says, hey, Miorine, Elan asked me to date him. And I said, no, of course. But then Miorne's like, oh, no, go ahead, date him. And so, of course, Suletta didn't want to hear that. And then she's even saying it out loud, like, I don't need to be here. It's almost like confirming what is now developing based on what's been going on. How does Miorine maybe really not care about her? And yeah, Suletta just drops the keychains. She was going to give her one, just drops it on the ground. So this is like signifying where now Suletta maybe feels confirmation in how Miorine really feels about her. And what does this mean for going forward, the next episode? I mean, that's pretty crazy. Could Suletta just go mad and crazy, not care about the Gundam Rink anymore, to get in their aerial and just start kicking ass? But what does that mean about Miorine? Does she slowly become a bad guy? I don't know. This is all very interesting stuff. Cool. And we get to see this cool other-looking colony, just to get an idea of these colonies which for Mercury, they seem to just be built around asteroids, and they kind of have that kind of circular thing going on. Maybe that's just part of how to create that artificial gravity. But yeah, I mean, L4, that could be Lagrange 4, and then maybe this is just colony 010030099. I don't know. Okay, so this is interesting. We see Delling come out of some doors, maybe in an elevator, and then we see Suletta's mom, and then she's saying, I've been waiting for you, Delling Rembrandt. So what's then going on here? Oh my God, I don't even know. I am confused. Any theories, throw them down in the comments, or maybe something I missed that made it obvious. Yeah, throw it down again. When I do these, they're more reactionary. I watch it through once, and then I kind of skip around and talk about what I got from each of the scenes. But it actually didn't stop there. I like how they call Guel Bob. But no, we're back. This is after the credits, and we're seeing this cool ship. Again, I like seeing this technology. Guel's giving everyone the food. Like, again, he doesn't act like he's too good for what he does. I really think Guel is a good guy. And he's handing out food, and even his captain or whatever is like, hey, yeah, make sure you eat before we go. And he appreciates it. So it's really cool to see this side of Guel. I really like how the character has been developing. It seems very natural, and it seems like we're seeing internal conflict that people can have in general. Okay, and here we go. We start seeing some Gundams, some Earth-based Gundams showing up These are the ones that are here to kill Delling. So what are they doing at the ship that Guel's on? And it's like, oh no, is this how he's gonna die? And then here's the other Gundam 2 that showed up behind. Very cool design so far. I'm not 100% on them yet because they remind me of Double O in a way where there's a lot of angularity and not a lot of mechanical or functional detail we're seeing on it. When you compare it to like a Ground Gundam, for instance, or the GPO series, how we kind of see some functional stuff going on. Not too much here, so we'll see. I would say that it's cool to see like that typical Gundam head that's more of the Zeta type, but I still think the other suits they've shown it off in the series are a little cooler. Yeah, and they're circling this freighter cargo ship, and they're even saying, give up, everything will be good. But hey, if you don't want to give it, that's fine. I don't mind killing you all. So we could see how serious, how confident the Earthians are in this situation. But what is it they need about the ship? They're probably going to board it, and it's probably going to that colony where Delling is at. It'll be interesting to see what actually happens there. Really cool shot there. All right, now back at the house with Shadiq and his team. Oh, kind of the same shot from before. We have the meditator there. The shoes are off. I really feel like it's setting up Shadiq to be the bad guy. And then so here's the ultimate motivation. They're saying that Shadiq had always in mind is to break up the Bennett group. Is it through his dad? Maybe it is. Maybe his dad is interested in doing that, just not to the extent that Shadiq is willing to do, which may cause casualties. But hey, interesting things going on here. The ship is now under the control of the Dawn of Fold. So if that's not like a mistranslation or anything, Dawn of Fold must be the name of this Earthian group that has some Gundams, perhaps. All right, there we go. Very interesting episode because we didn't even get mobile suit battles occurring here, but we saw this wide range of character arc development going on where it seems like Suletta now doesn't think Miorine really cares about her. That might change what Suletta's trying to do. Does that get in the way of Ariel's plan, Prospero's plan, or is that part of the plan that eventually it would expose maybe the truth behind some people? Because it could be that Miorine really is just, again, using Suletta as a shield so then she can get things done she wants without people controlling her. And then interesting with Delling, how he's working with his daughter on this Gundam thing, even though he was against it at first, but she came up with a good idea, so he was like, okay, yeah, we'll go forward with it. So is it really that Delling really isn't some bad guy, especially when it's not like he's planning to assassinate people, it's Jeturk that's wanting to assassinate people. Shadiq's all in on that, and now we see Shadiq being potentially the mastermind bad guy. He's saying he wants to break up the Bennett group. Not that he wants to destroy the Gundams, but let's say Bennett group is equal to the Earth Federation, right? And Shadiq is equal to Zeon. He wants to destroy them, and maybe we'll find out more. And it could be that even his dad and other people in the Bennett group don't like the way Delling is doing things. I don't know. But then it seems like Delling isn't necessarily doing anything wrong. I don't know. This is all very interesting. So any additional insight I'm missing, please put in the comments below. I'm very curious, really, how this is all going to play out. They really changed up a lot of things here. For people that just watched the show for battles, Gundam battles, that didn't really happen here. But for people that are interested in a developing story and character arcs, they're actually fulfilling that here with this episode, so it's really cool. Anyway, thanks for watching. Again, please check the links in the description for you so you can support the channel and even hang out on Discord. It's a lot of fun. Again, we have an exclusive podcast called G-Watch for supporters, but also in the Discord we do a lot of fun things. SD December is going on right now. I did a live stream on that recently. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We'll talk later.